Okay, here it is, your video on the review of graphing lines. So the first thing you need to remember is that slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b, where the slope of your line is given by the number in front of your x, represented with the letter m, and the y-intercept of your line is given by the number that's added or subtracted to your x, and that is represented by the letter b. We have really four basic types of lines. We have horizontal lines. Horizontal lines always have a zero slope because they don't rise at all, they just run. The equation of a horizontal line is y equals 0x plus b because our slope is 0. However, anytime we have 0 x's, we do not have to write them. So the equation will be given to you as y equals b, whatever your y-intercept is. Keep in mind that if you see the line y equals 0, well, 0 on your y-axis is right here, so that would be your x-axis. And so an example of a horizontal line would be, whoops, that's your vertical line, not that one, is y equals -3. So you just go down to -3 on your y-axis and draw in your horizontal line. It's important to note that this is confusing for people because people think of y, so they immediately think of vertical. But the equation y equals 3 is telling you that I want the line where every point on the line has a y coordinate of -3. So if you take a look at this point right here, the coordinate is at 0, -3. If you look at this point, it's at 1, -3, 2, -3, 3, -3, 4, -3, 5, -3. And we could do the same thing going to the left, -1, -3, -2, -3. So what all those points have in common is that the y value is always -3. So it stays constant. That's why the equation of this line is y equals -3. Whereas with a vertical line, which we already see here, is basically the opposite of that. So instead of y equals a number, it's going to be x equals any number or your x-intercept. So to draw in a vertical line, you just put a point at your x-axis and then draw a vertical line. And the equation is the same because is x equals a number, because for the same reason that this equation was always y equals a number, every point on this line, what it has in common is that your x is -7. The reason why it doesn't follow slope-intercept form is because the slope doesn't exist. It's undefined as a number, and it doesn't have a y-intercept because it's parallel to the y-axis. And finally, we have lines with positive slopes, and the slope could be any positive number, and it will fit into your slope-intercept formula of y equals mx plus b. The only positive slope lines we need to be concerned with for this unit is the line y equals x, which could also be written as x equals y, and that just means that your slope, or the number in front of your m, is a 1. The number in front of your x, I should say, is a 1, and the y-intercept is 0 because we're not adding or subtracting any number to that. So if you take a look, it's a line where the y-intercept is 0, and we rise 1, run 1, rise 1, run 1, rise 1, run 1. And finally, we have lines with a negative slope. They're represented by y equals -m x plus b. It's exactly the same, except our slope goes downhill from left to right. And the equation that you need to be concerned with is y equals -x, where the slope is -1 and the y-intercept is 0. So again, we have our y-intercept at the origin, and then we drop down 1, run 1, drop down 1, run 1, drop down 1, run 1, giving us a negative slope.